Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my podcast.
It's mine.
Your favorite podcast. It's called Stop the Internet Podcast. I'm Kelee.
I'm Erin.
Welcome.
Go on, lead.
I'm throwing the podcast today.
Throwing it.
Where I'm hosting.
You're doing a good job throwing it right now.
I'm just in a super tired, giggly mood. You know, when you're just like tired and you just are like, hee. I did that at work recently and I was thinking about this the other day. One of my coworkers was like trying to explain this bandage that she was putting on this patient. And she was like, it's just kind of like a white, stretchy bandage. It's called, and looks at the wrapper and she's
it's
like,
called white stretchy.
White stretch bandage. And I like lost it. There were tears coming from my eyes in the patient's room. And she was like, it wasn't that funny. And I was like, but you know, when you're just like, like a giggly, I was like, it just sent me. And now I'm like kind of in that mood right now.
Great. All the best episodes happen in that mood. My roommate in college called it the sleepy ha-has.
Ew.
I feel like I've told you that before and you had the same reaction.
Ew. I wonder why.
Or maybe I told Rebecca. There is a couple episodes that Rebecca and I did that we definitely had the sleepy ha-has. Or the giggles.
Stop saying it.
It sounds funny.
I don't know.
Sleepy
I
ha-has.
don't love the way that sounds.
Okay.
It just turned off my ha-has.
It turned off my ha-has. Now I'm just tired.
I'm just sleepy.
We should do the podcast actually after we stay up. We should do an experiment. We should do those like immoral, unethical experiments on ourselves and like stay up for like 48 hours and then record the podcast and see what happens.
See who notices the dark circles around our eyes.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think I could stay up that long if I tried. Do you remember that episode of Zoe 101? Where Quinn, the nerdy girl, was forcing Zoe's little brother to stay up and doing experiments on him, and he went crazy, I think.
I don't think so. I do remember I watched Mythbusters once, and they did an experiment, like driving a car when you were like at a certain, like past the legal limit, like very, very drunk, like on the breathalyzer, and someone driving a car when they were falling asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
Like they did it in like a closed, safe thing, and they said that the tired driver actually drove worse than the like super intoxicated driver.
That's crazy.
Because I guess you like can't keep your eyes open.
Yeah, I mean, not an excuse to drive drunk, but
oh my god, no.
I do think that driving tired is so dangerous.
It is.
I have definitely been on the verge of like, I feel like I am about to fall asleep. And we pulled over the one time we went on a road trip and slept in a parking lot.
It was like a rest. Yeah,
it
it wasn't just like a random parking lot. It was like made for people on road trips.
Yeah. I forgot what it was called for a second.
Yeah.
On one of the spooky season episodes this year, Trisha and I read a story about a guy who was really tired and pulled over on the side of the road to take a nap, and then someone tried to attack him.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
but it might have just been someone that had the sleepy ha-has. That was like,
yeah, true.
I'm just gonna go mess with this guy in his car.
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, what's new in life?
It's Thanksgiving on the day that this comes out. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
We're thankful for you.
Give thanks.
And
I don't really love Thanksgiving. I don't eat turkey. I've never enjoyed turkey. Mashed potatoes, I could take them or leave them. If there's not like drowned in like some sort of gravy, I can't eat them. They're too plain. I do like, you know what? Hot take. Love the cranberry in the jar.
That is a hot take.
I have a couple friends that stand with me on that, and I'm like, oh, that makes me feel way better. But that is the only, I guess I like stuffing, but only sometimes. Like sometimes it's too done up, and I'm like, ew, I don't want celery in my stuffing. Like I don't love that.
Just a simple stuffing is so good to me.
Right, but it's like that's all I eat. So one of my coworkers actually just told me, it might have been today, we were talking about Thanksgiving with patients. She was like, yeah, none of my kids literally eat any of the Thanksgiving Thanksgiving food, so I just order a pizza to Thanksgiving dinner for them. And I was like,
It's kind of weird that Thanksgiving food is so ingrained in our culture in the United States. Like, why does it feel like a law that you have to eat this specific food on Thanksgiving? And then if you were to tell people that you eat something else, people would like pass out.
Yeah, like I literally simply want Chinese food.
I think that if we brought pizza to our family's Thanksgiving, I think maybe 50% of the people would be like, okay, yeah, sure. And then 50% would be like,
would have a
what is happening here? Yeah.
Yeah, some people
we can't
would
do
definitely
this.
have a meltdown for sure, whether they showed it or not. They might not show it, and then they might have a meltdown like before Christmas and be like, oh, I just can't have Erin showing up with a pizza like she did on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like right before Christmas.
It's
like,
actually so weird because other holidays have things that a lot of people eat, but it's not as like ingrained into the rules of the holiday. These like unwritten rules. Like Christmas, 4th of July, like you could Easter, you could be like, oh yeah, we eat this on this day, Memorial Day weekend. But like Thanksgiving, it's actually a felony if you don't eat stuffing, turkey.
And it's infuriating because most of the time, the way the turkey is cooked is a felony. Like it is just dry, bland bird meat. Like that is disgusting. Even well before I stopped eating meat in my life, I would drown. If I had to put a slice of turkey on my plate, I would drown it in salt. So I was just like, might as well just lick the salt shaker instead of eating the turkey. It's just disgusting. I don't know. It's just so gross.
I was watching a clip of Theo Von.
Who's that?
He's a comedian and he has a podcast and he says just the most like unhinged things. And I texted this to my friend, so I had it written down, but I saw a clip of him and it said, Theo Von just said, this is the time of year you can feel the turkeys getting scared. The other day I saw a turkey on Etsy buying a shank.
Oh my God.
He's unhinged.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I support the turkeys. I don't eat them. They're cute, I think, in real life. I think they're like way bigger than I thought they were.
I think they're huge.
I don't really know much about turkeys, dead or alive.
Okay, here's our transition. Thanksgiving is full of family drama.
Yes.
So today we're talking about crazy sisters and sisters-in-laws.
I wish.
Ew. Your hand is warm.
Held hands and her hand was freezing.
What is it?
I wish we could like record this on Thanksgiving with Trisha and like all of our cousins and do it live.
We should.
Maybe by next year.
Well, we could bring the podcast stuff to our Thanksgiving and try to do something.
Okay.
Oh my God. Wait.
Look at the sleepy ha-has coming up with good ideas.
Wow. Okay. I think we should get into our drama.
Bum, 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 bum.
Let's tell a story. Yeah. Let's start with one that I think I might vote the opposite than the overall vote on Reddit.
Don't tell us the overall vote.
Okay. Am I the asshole for uninviting my sister-in-law to the wedding because she got drunk at my engagement party? I thought my engagement party was going to be this perfect night. My fiance and I had spent months planning it, and we were excited to celebrate with our closest friends and family. But things took a turn for the worse when my sister-in-law showed up. At first, she seemed perfectly pleasant. She congratulated us and even gave us a gift. But as the night wore on, she started drinking more and more. Eventually, she was slurring her words and stumbling around the room. I tried to ignore it and enjoy the party, but then she started making inappropriate comments. She told me odd remarks like I was just okay for her brother, or just under-exciting comments about me. My fiance tried to intervene, but she just laughed it off and kept drinking. Finally, she made a scene that couldn't be ignored. She stumbled over the cake table and knocked it over, sending cake and frosting flying everywhere. My guests were horrified, and I felt like crawling under a rock and hiding. My family was so quiet, and I felt so awful at such a wonderful day. After that night, I knew I couldn't invite her to my wedding. I didn't want to risk her ruining my special day, but now my in-laws are furious with me. Her family is saying that I'm being unfair and that I need to forgive her, but I don't know if I can. They are saying she just drank too much and alcohol was talking for her.
Nope.
Am I the asshole for not inviting my sister-in-law to my wedding after she made a scene at my engagement party?
Drunk words are sober thoughts. I stand by that.
I don't know. I've said some weird shit when I'm drunk, and then I'm like, I don't think I mean that.
I guess, but like not shitting on someone.
Yeah, that's true.
Your sister-in-law, not shitting on your sister-in-law.
Yeah.
And like the family is like, oh, you need to forgive her. Has she apologized?
So there was an update, and it said, so today she has still not apologized to me.
No, she's not invited to the wedding.
My fiance is still staying out of it, but mother-in-law called me today saying she was so sorry, and I told her that she needed to apologize to me, not her mother. Then my mother-in-law proceeded to call me selfish and a line of words thereafter. I'm not even sure how to proceed from that.
She can get cut from the guest list too. I would not want this person at my wedding. They don't care about me. They don't support my marriage. Why should they come to my wedding?
Okay, I guess reading the title, it made me think that she uninvited her because she got drunk. I don't think her getting drunk is like the biggest thing. Like, let's say she didn't say the comments and she just got drunk and knocked over the cake by accident and then didn't apologize.
Maybe invite her and literally tell the bartender not to serve her.
Yeah, maybe. I think that the actual offense here is the rude comments.
And the lack of apology.
Yeah.
Like, even if you didn't say the rude comments, like, people make drunk, embarrassing mistakes and they apologize for them. Like,
yeah,
I'm so sorry, I got way too drunk. I literally knocked your cake over. I ruined the night. I'm so sorry. Wow, thank you for apologizing. You can come sober, sister. Like, that's what we called it in our sorority. If there was an event, you had to sober sister that night. So you'll sober sister at my wedding. Absolutely not. No.
I feel like I was on the sister-in-law's side because if the only thing she did was accidentally knock a cake over, it's like, is that really a scene? Like, what happened after that? Because I'm picturing if we were at like a family party, picture like a normal house where there's a living room over here, a kitchen, a dining room, a bathroom, like people scattered throughout. And then there's a table maybe in the kitchen with a cake on it, and then somebody backs into it, the cake falls, and everyone's like, oh no, the cake. I can totally see why the person whose party it is would be upset. But like, does that really ruin? Like, it's not your wedding.
I don't think it doesn't sound like she like got too drunk and backed into a table and knocked it over. It said she like stumbled into it and sent shit flying.
Okay.
Like, that's a little more dramatic.
But still, it's like, I can picture someone like falling and then they knock into a table and the cake falls over. Like, of course that would be like sad and everyone would be like, damn, now we have to clean this up. But like, is that really a felony?
It just feels more dramatic the way the story was told. So like, I'm mad at her.
But that's why I want to know how it actually happened and like what happened next. Like, did the sister-in-law stand up and she was like, oh God, like in her drunk slur being like, I'm so sorry? Or was she like, yeah, I don't give a shit?
Yeah,
like,
we definitely need to know that. But it sounds like she hates the sister-in-law, so she probably wasn't apologetic. Sounds like she's still not apologetic.
Yeah. I think though that the wording is misleading. Like, I think that this girl isn't uninviting her because she was drunk and knocked over the cake. I feel like it was because of the comments.
Yeah.
So I feel like the comments justify.
But she made the comments after she got drunk. So like, it's,
right.
And so now she's saying, should I not invite her because she got too drunk?
Yeah. But no, but it's not because she got drunk. Because if she got that drunk and she was like wasted, knocked over a cake, and that was her only offense, I would be like, eh.
Yeah, but she got drunk and made multiple offenses.
Right. But I feel like the comments are like, I guess yes, it's related to her being drunk because in theory she wouldn't have said that unless she was drunk. I don't know.
I don't like her. I don't want her at the wedding.
No, I think the comments would set me over the edge too. And I think she just needs to apologize. Okay, so what if all this happened and then she apologized?
Like, truthfully was like, I am so sorry I did this. I think that, people make mistakes and can be forgiven for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Wait. While we're speaking of making a scene at family parties, I thought of two things that I was laughing about while you were telling that story, both of which I did and both of which happened at Trisha's house. One time, I think it might have been like Christmas or like Christmas Eve or something. We were having dinner at Trisha's parents' house and I literally was not even a glass of wine deep. And I by no means was I drunk, but I was just not paying attention. It was a crowded kitchen and I like knocked a glass of wine over over, and in the like me trying to catch it, knocked the bottle over. So like I literally made a whole scene, and I was like, oh my god, and everyone's like, Erin's drunk, and I was like, I'm not. Like I literally made a mistake, and I tried to fix it, and then I just made a bigger mistake. Trisha's mom was like not mad. She's like, it's okay, it happens. But I remember another one of our aunts was like, oh, like Erin's like spilling bottles of wine, like we like just got here. And I was like, oh my god, like yes, I can see why you think I'm the problem in the family, but this was just an honest mistake. And then another
Wait,
time,
so what if you got uninvited to a wedding because of that?
I mean, I apologized.
True.
If everyone was like, you can't come because of that, after I literally sincerely apologized, I would be like, okay, I guess I fricked up worse than I thought, and I don't know what to do. Write a letter like and apologize? I don't know.
I guess I just felt like, I don't know why I'm riding so hard for this sister-in-law, but something just makes me think that like all the other shit is irrelevant. You know, her knocking the cake over, her being drunk, like whatever. People make mistakes. I'm like, sorry, I have skeletons in my closet. I knocked over a cake one time. No. Anyway.
The second one wasn't even a scene, but just it happened in such slow motion in my mind and from my perspective that it felt like the biggest scene someone could have made. We were at Trisha's house on Easter. They have a large dog, and the dog like just happened to lay on the ground behind me in the kitchen, and I like took a half a step back and fell over the dog. But it literally happened in slow motion, and I like had a drink in my hand, and I like fell on top of the dog and then fell into a wall and like hit my head on the corner of the wall. So everyone was like, oh my god, Erin, like, are you okay? And I'm like, is Ollie okay? Like, obviously I always worry about the dog, but it was just like the most funny thing, because it was like, what are the odds that I literally dramatically fell backwards over top of this dog? All I remember seeing as I was going down was Trisha's mom like, no, like in slow motion. I just feel like I caused the scene because everyone was there staring at me, and it wasn't even like a ton of family. Patricia's younger sister had all of her college roommates there because I guess she lived the closest. So there was like it felt like a ton of people there, and everyone just watched me fall over this dog. And I was like, yes, I know in the grand scheme of things, it is not making a scene, but the way it felt in the moment, I was like, wow, I just made a scene.
You were like, you took out all your wedding invites and people slowly took them out of your hands and took them back.
Like, every time she steps near the dog, there goes her invite.
Yeah, another glass of wine, I'll be taking that back. So sorry.
So we'll see how Thanksgiving goes this year.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be making a vlog of it.
Hopefully I won't be falling over any dogs or spilling any wine, but can't make any promises.
I think I said my piece on that one.
I agree. Don't invite her to the wedding.
Before we get into the next story, I want to talk about a product I've been loving. As a person with ADHD, I struggle to focus and stay on track, especially in my busy season of work. So I'm so excited to talk about Magic Mind. Magic Mind is this little shot that you take either along with your morning coffee or tea, or you can take it in place of your morning coffee or tea. And it basically helps you stay focused and use that caffeine in a better way so that you're not jittery and anxious and like flopping all over the place, and you can actually stay on task and be more productive. It's really cool because it's all natural ingredients like matcha, lion's mane mushrooms, ashwagandha, and other vitamins that all work together to help your body use energy in a more productive way. I am so excited that Magic Mind is sponsoring today's episode. It's such a cool product. If Magic Mind sounds like something you're interested in, if you also struggle with focus, or if you just need a little extra pick-me-up on the daily, you can use our code to get 20% off your first purchase. Or if you want a subscription, because the longer you use Magic Mind, the better it works for you and you have more sustainable benefits, you can use our code to get up to 56% off your purchase, which is absurd in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. So our code is STOP20, STOP20. I took it today. It helps you focus so much, and that's just one of my biggest problems in life. So I'm so happy that I found Magic Mind, and I'm so grateful that they're sponsoring today's episode. So once again, if you want to try for yourself, feel free to click the link in our bio and use our code, which is STOP20, for a crazy discount off of your first purchase or subscription.
Maybe we'll take some Magic Mind shots the next episode so that I don't have the sleepy ha-has.
Yes. They'll probably take you right out of the sleepy ha-has.
Thank you, Magic Mind.
Am I the asshole for vacationing at my sister's dream honeymoon destination? My sister has always been a wedding person, as in she's dreamed and planned her wedding even before meeting her boyfriend. Now that she's engaged, she wants it all. Expensive cinematic venue. Cinematic venue.
Like it looks like it's from a movie.
Oh, I see. Okay. Guest list in the hundreds, designer dress, etc. She cares a lot about being the first and making everything special and just hers. Sounds like she knows what she wants.
What's the problem?
Yeah, I'm on her side so far. I legitimately have nothing against that, and I'm happy that she's getting what she wants.
But it sounds like you're about to get into why you have something against that.
It's going to be the but.
But.
The issue arose because my boyfriend planned an anniversary getaway to a tropical island that happens to be where my sister planned to honeymoon. I had no idea that she was planning to go there. They hadn't actually booked anything. She had just planned on it. And I didn't know until I shared the news with my family during a bi-weekly dinner we have together. Additionally, this was a surprise trip planned and paid for by my boyfriend, who would absolutely have no way of knowing my sister's plans. He's not close to her or her fiance. She says that if I go there first, I'll take away the surprise and specialness of the destination, and is insisting that I cancel or change the destination. I'm pretty upset and called her entitled because there's no way I'm going to tell my boyfriend to change something very nice he did for me. My sister is now threatening to remove me from the wedding. Okay. I've been flip-flopping sides here mentally. My sister is now threatening to remove me from the wedding if I don't change my vacation, and my parents are begging me to give in to keep the peace. My boyfriend has offered to pick a new location because he hates seeing me upset and fighting with family, so I wonder if I'm being the asshole for being so stubborn about it all. I mean,
the only thing I can't stand more than entitled people is entitled people's parents who defend them.
Yes, I agree with that. The girl, the bride, is definitely out of line. The only point I have in her favor is that she said that if the OP goes there first, she'll take away the surprise and specialness of the destination. I kind of do get that because like if you are planning to go somewhere that you've never been, and then all of a sudden your sister is going there a couple months before you're going to see all of her pictures, all of her posts. Everyone's going to be talking about it. Yeah. So I do feel like that does kind of take away. Regardless of that, her thing wasn't planned. Nobody knew about it. So I could see why she would ask her, like, this is my dream. I've been dreaming about going here, but like, is there any way you could change? It's still entitled to ask, but like, I could see how if you were close with your sister, you would ask that.
Yeah.
But after...
to have the parents be like, just do it to keep the peace. Like, no, call off your freaking honeymoon to keep the peace. Like, I'm not the issue here just because I already have a vacation booked.
Yeah, like she didn't have anything booked. So why can't she...
And like, you could go to the same destination with like a different sub-destination. Like...
yeah, I wonder if
I'm just trying to put like, to give it like a very minimal perspective. Like, I always wanted to go to Costa Rica. You went like 6 months before I did. We went to two completely different places, had two completely different experiences. I mean, I obviously never even thought twice about like, oh, she's going to Costa Rica before I am, because I wasn't, I guess, worried about like the surprise. Like, I wasn't worried about where the sister is coming from. But like, there are insanely different places in like these amazing destinations that you can go and have an equally amazing time and not know anything about.
Yeah. Can we talk about your relationship that he was upset about you traveling somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay. Erin was dating this guy one time, and he really wanted to go to this one town in Italy. And I guess he had brought that up to you multiple times. Randomly, I booked a job in Italy and I wanted my family to come with me. I'm like, oh, let's just all go and we can go on vacation and then I'll go work and then we can all fly home together. So I'm planning this trip that I want my family to go on because I need to like entice them. My parents weren't really in the mood to go to Europe. They're like, I don't know, nervous about that. I really had to sell it. And I'm like, look at all these amazing places we can go. So I have never heard that the guy that Erin's seeing, I've never heard of him being interested in this town. And I put that on the itinerary for my family. My parents are like, wow, that does look amazing. So we're planning this trip. We tell Erin the dates when she has to take off work. And then she tells her boyfriend that she's going to these 4 places in Italy with her family. And he was very, very upset. He was almost like blaming you for like going on a trip with your family when he like romanticized the idea that you guys were going to go there together for the first time. And you were like, I can't control this. Like, I can't tell my family to not go to this town just because you want to go there with me at a later date.
Yeah. A lot of it also came down to money. And like at that point in time, I was in school. I was a full-time student. And both he and I couldn't afford to go there at that point in time. Mm-hmm. And my parents agreed to take me on this family vacation. And like, was I supposed to say no?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, were you supposed to just like, you just stay in town number 2, we'll all go to town number 3, and then we'll meet up again in town number 4. Like, or were you supposed to not go at all
on the trip? Yeah. Beats me. Men are wild.
Like, I can see why people romanticize like doing things for the first time with their partner or like having this experience before anyone else does. Like, in a way, I could see where he was coming from because I'm like, oh, you dreamed about going here with your love of your life for so long, and then you find out that she's going without you. Yeah. And it's kind of the same with this sister situation. It's like maybe she never even said it out loud, but she's dreamed of going to this island or destination, whatever, her whole life with her partner, and she's like, oh, it's this tiny little place no one's heard of, like I'm gonna go and see it all. And then your sister's like, wait, I'm going there. And you're like, oh, am I gonna ruin the surprise? Like, I've always dreamed about going there and like experiencing it with my husband, and I don't know, it almost seems like exclusive, like this little place no one's ever heard of. Right. And now you're going there. It's not really gonna be special, like it's not gonna be unique to me. I can see where she's coming from.
Yeah.
But then once you look at the logistics and you're like, okay, it's cute to like romanticize and you can have dreams and goals and whatever, but you can't ask other people to rearrange their entire life. Also, the money aspect of it, like you can't ask someone to replan an entire trip because the odds of them not losing money while doing that is very slim. Yeah. So you kind of got to look at a bigger picture. Not everything is about you and this thing you're romanticizing.
That's the thing. Like, the sister thinks this is about her.
Right.
Like, she's like, your trip is going to ruin my surprise. Like, then I won't send any pictures and we'll wait 3 months to talk about it. Like, it's not about you. Like, my situation, that wasn't about my boyfriend.
Right.
That was about my family booking a trip that it just so happened that he had wanted to go on. And it wasn't something that like he could afford or have the time off at that point in time. Like, we were really young and just didn't have, like, it just wasn't in the cards for us.
Yeah.
So like, I understand the like defeat that you're feeling of like, oh, she's going there without me. But when it comes to the like taking it out on me or being mad at me for going, it's like, don't make this about you.
Yeah. Like,
be happy for me.
Exactly. Like, are you supposed to give up a once in a lifetime experience, which a trip like that is a once in a lifetime experience for most people?
Yeah.
Or something you would never get to experience.
Yeah.
So why are you mad at the person you love like taking an opportunity for something amazing when it's presented to them?
Yeah.
It sucks, but it is hard to like get out of your feelings when you have this dream. But also, people make so many things about themselves and so many things personal and like tell themselves this story of like, oh, they're doing this on purpose. Like she knew that was my dream destination and she's just going there before and blah, blah, blah. Like it's not about you. Nobody thinks about you. When I'm planning my vacation, I'm not thinking about my friends or my cousin or like anyone else. I'm just like, oh, where do I want to go and who's going to go with me? Like you're not thinking deeply into like, oh, has my family member or friend been dreaming of going to this destination since she was a child on her honeymoon? Therefore, should I not go there before she gets married? Like that's not a normal train of thought.
Right.
And to expect people to think that is absurd.
Right. And to like give up on something that you've always wanted to. Like at one point in time, I really wanted to go to Australia and I had the time and money to go. And I actually was inspired by a friend that I grew up with that I hadn't talked to in a long time. She was traveling on her own in New Zealand. And I was like, how is it? Like, I need to know. And she was like, you know what? So many of us just sit around waiting for a friend or a family member to be like, yeah, I can afford this trip and the time off. Let's go together. And she was like, I had no one to do it. And I was like, I'm not missing out on my life to wait for someone else. And I was like, shit, good point. So I booked a trip to Australia by myself. I ended up, in the grand scheme of things, I did end up telling a friend about it. She also had family where I wanted to go. So I did end up having a friend go with me. But at the time, I had no one that could go with me. And I was like, I don't want to miss out on life. I booked my trip to Australia. And at the time, I was dating that same person. And he was like, you're just going to go to Australia by yourself? And I was like, I can see that you are never going to understand what this girl said to me. No matter how many times I say it to you, like, I don't want to miss out on my life because you can't get 3 weeks off of work and you don't have like, you know, the money or like the places to stay or things like that. I can see why it could maybe be upsetting to see like someone else doing this cool thing that you can't go on, but like don't try to make me sit out and miss out on things because you can't do them. Yeah. And not by no means was he ever like that kind of like to that extent, but just like he definitely didn't understand where I was coming from with a lot of it. And it's like, I don't know what this girl's situation is either. Like maybe she can't afford this trip and her boyfriend is paying for it and now you're gonna ask her not to go. Yeah, you don't know. Like I don't know, like it's just, you can't take something away from someone when it's could be a once in a lifetime trip. Yeah. What if she's not gonna marry this guy and she doesn't have a lot of money and he's taking her to the Four Seasons huts in Bora Bora, staying on the water, and that's like your I mean, yeah, that's like my dream honeymoon. But like if you were going there with someone and this was the only opportunity you were going to have that, I wouldn't be like, I would, oh my God, the jealousy would kill me inside, but I would never be like, please don't go. That's what I want to do for my honeymoon.
Yeah, I also feel like sometimes people think that, or they get into the mindset that if I'm not the only person doing this, it's not special. Like if everyone does it, it's not going to be special for me, when that's just not true. Yeah. Like the Bora Bora thing, that's a great example. That's something that 99% of people will never do in their life, in the whole entire world. But if like randomly 1 million people were gifted that trip and we all went on it and everyone you knew got to go on it, would that make it less special to you? It shouldn't.
No.
Like why do people, like I feel like a lot of times people just really like
they
hold on to that's exactly what it is.
Keep like special opportunities. Yeah. I just feel like I'm so the opposite. Like when I go somewhere that's literally to die for, I tell everyone I know, like, you should go here, you should stay here, it'll change your life. Like when I was in Costa Rica, I stayed at this little tiny hotel and it was like our room was basically half outdoors. Our shower was like outdoors with like just jungle vines over top, and our bathtub was outdoors in the literal rainforest, and it was so cool, except for the bugs. There are large bugs in Costa Rica.
Yeah, that's bad. They're bad.
And when your hotel room is basically outdoors, they're in your room. But anyway, it was the most insane place I've ever stayed. And I couldn't stop talking about it. I couldn't stop sending pictures, telling people about it. And a friend of mine, I think, was talking about going on like a delayed honeymoon, something about like, it was probably a COVID thing, having like a delayed honeymoon. And she was like, would you mind sending me the details of that place you went? And I feel like this is where some people would be like, oh, it was this little boutique hotel in the rainforest, really hard hard to find. Like, I don't know. I feel like you should stay like somewhere more reliable. Like, no. I was like, yes, you should stay. You should take your mom, your dad, your cousin, the bathroom sink. Like, everyone should go here because it's so insanely awesome to experience. Why would you not want everyone in your life to experience that?
Yeah, I feel like it's like a maturity and like security thing. And
definitely
like
a security
Yeah, like
thing.
self-esteem security, I mean.
Yes.
Because I feel like I was on the verge of thinking that way when I was younger. I went to Hawaii with my friend and we stayed there for like 2 weeks and did like all the adventurous stuff. Like we had no money, like literally ate pasta every single day because we didn't want to spend more than $3 on dinner. And then I feel like there was a time, I don't really remember exactly like all the details of my thoughts, but after we got back, there was definitely a time, like Hawaii is so popular.
Yeah.
So I noticed other people going there or like wanting to go there, and I'd be like, oh, you don't even understand. Like, you don't understand how like we did it and how cool it was, and you don't deserve the Hawaii experience that I had.
You definitely were like that at one point in time.
Yeah, it's like, that's so dumb. Like,
yeah.
But I think it was because I felt emotionally attached to the place, which I get. Like, I remember feeling that way. Like, I almost remember thinking like, if you're gonna go there and not do it like this, then like don't even go. And so I get why like people feel emotional over places and they're like, oh well, if you're not gonna appreciate it, don't go there. But as you mature and like become more secure in yourself, you can realize that like the world is like everyone's. Like, you don't own places just because you've spent time there.
And everyone appreciates Hawaii no matter how they do it.
Yeah, or like in a different way.
Yeah.
And like if someone goes somewhere that you went and they don't appreciate it, like that has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the sister, she got to get over it.
Yeah, you should want your sister to experience this for sure.
Yeah, just
especially
don't look at her
if
pictures.
it's as amazing as you think it's gonna be. Did I just say amazing?
I don't know.
Amazing. It's the sleepy ha-has again. That was just the sleepies because Kelee took away my ha-has. But yeah, no, like if it's as amazing as you think it's gonna be, why wouldn't you want everyone you love to experience it, even if it's 3 months before you?
Yeah, you're selfish.
Yeah, definitely. Adios.
I feel like we don't bang the gavel as much as we should, you know?
I feel like I try to.
Yeah. Am I the asshole for telling my sister about my partner's plastic surgery? Oh, and speaking of Europe, all of our transitions are on point today.
Oh, I thought you were going to say speaking of plastic surgery, and I was like, oh no,
well,
what did I do now?
That too. My girlfriend and I moved to Europe a few years ago, and she ended up getting a lot of plastic surgery while we were out there that I begged her not to get. She got a blepharoplasty. Erin, what's that?
It's like under here.
Under your eyes?
Yeah.
Okay. A nose job.
Oh, do you know what that is?
I think I know what that one is. It has something to do with the chin. Fillers. A chin surgery.
Okay. Filler is not plastic surgery.
True.
We all have it.
Yeah, we all have it. And I don't even know what else. Okay, blepharoplasty. So what is that? You just get filler under your eyes, basically?
It's surgery to like lift under.
Okay.
Surgery.
A nose job. I feel like nose job, slay. If you can afford it, why not? Fillers, you know, whatever. Chin surgery. It's like all things that I feel like if someone you love comes to you and they're like, I want to get nose job, chin job, filler, blepharoplasty, it's your first instinct to be like, oh my God, you don't need that. You're beautiful. Yeah. So I can see why someone wouldn't want their partner to get those things, or their friend or their loved one, because everyone's first response is, you don't need that, you're beautiful. But it's like not about needing.
No, and it's also like if there's one little thing or two little things you hate about the way you look, and every day you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, like I just wish I could fix this, and you can fix that, why shouldn't you do something that makes you feel better about yourself? Like if you have, I mean, because I've been there, like if you have like horrendous acne and you look in the mirror every day and you're like, oh, this makes me feel so crappy about myself, why not like go on a medication to fix it? Like I did that. Like every day I look in the mirror and I was like, oh, why is my double chin drive me crazy? And all I had to do to fix that was like put a little filler in my chin. I did that. Like why would I not do something to make me feel better when I look in the mirror in the morning?
Yeah.
I get why people like stand by the like natural is beautiful and you're so naturally pretty, but like if you're gonna dye your hair, I'm gonna get filler in my chin.
I remember I had a college class where we were talking about this, and I brought up how everyone is so quick to be like, oh, don't get a nose job. You don't need a nose job. But anyone who can afford it, almost anyone, would choose to have braces. So why do you care about fixing your teeth, but you can't do a nose job? And I remember somebody in my class was like, well, some people have to do that because of medical reasons. And I was like, yeah, sure. But that doesn't negate the fact that thousands or millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people get braces or Invisalign because they want their smile to be stereotypically beautiful.
Right.
So why do we draw the line? Like, and that's another thing, the hair. Almost everyone gets their hair cut and styled. Many people get their hair dyed, and nobody says shit about that.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to surgery, is it just because surgery is like invasive and it has risks?
I wonder if it's just more taboo because it's more expensive and less people do it.
Yeah.
So people just, maybe because it's permanent. Filler is not permanent, by the way, but maybe because like surgery is permanent and it's like, oh, well, you can't change that or something, something along those lines. I don't know.
It's really weird though, because braces are so expensive.
Yeah.
Like braces are like, to afford braces, you got to be like pretty well off. And it's the same as like I mean, I guess dental insurance pays for that.
At the same time, you could make that argument about anything. Like, how much have you spent on dyeing your hair? Truly.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
You
like,
spend so much money.
Yeah.
Filler costs so much money.
Yeah.
So much money. It is so expensive. Botox, so expensive. Any of these surgeries you're going to get, thousands of dollars. But like, who is to say that like a one-time nose job that's a couple $1,000s isn't comparable to someone who dyes their hair every 3 to 4 weeks and it costs hundreds of dollars and they've done that for years.
Yeah, no, totally. I don't understand why it's so taboo. Like maybe it's because there's this stigma that it's like embarrassing. Like if you tell someone you dye your hair, it's like, oh, cool. But if you tell someone, oh, I want to get a nose job, it's like a bigger deal. I mean, I get that getting a surgery where you have to go under anesthesia is more intense than going to a salon and getting dye put on your roots. Like I get that there's a huge difference between those two, but the goal of them is the same, to change the way you look so that you like your appearance better.
You know what I just thought of though? I completely just thought of this as you were saying that. I think a lot of it stems from the unknown and like the fear and stigma, because there is such a stigma with lip filler. Think about that.
Yeah.
If you tell someone you're getting filler in your lips, it's like you think that you're going to literally have duck lips. For example, one of Kelly's friends recently was asking me about filler because I work in the industry. I know how it works. And she was like, I have a problem. They said they could fix it with filler. And then they jokingly said they could put the rest of it in my face if they wanted. And I was like, you should do that. Filler is really expensive. If you're going to pay for it, you should use it all. And she was like, I don't want to look like a monster. And I was like, how much filler do you think I have in my face? And she was like, oh, haha, like, don't be funny. And I was like, no, I'm being serious. I have a lot of filler in my face and I look like a normal person. So like people genuinely don't understand it. When I tell people I get Botox is like a wrinkle preventative. People think Botox means filler and that means crazy looking.
Yeah.
Like people just don't understand it. So it's like, if you say you're going to get a nose job, people automatically are going to assume like it's going to be botched and you're not going to be able to breathe afterwards.
That's probably a good point. And I think that the more people lie about it, the longer that stigma will go on. Like,
yes.
I guess like something that I don't get is so many celebrities don't want to tell people that they, and I get that everyone will criticize the celebrity for anything.
Yes.
Like if any celebrity were to get plastic surgery or get a nose job, everyone would be like, well, they didn't need it. Like she was beautiful before. Or they would say, oh, well, she's so ugly. She had to get a nose job to be pretty. Like everyone could be pretty if they had money, like blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's always this like negative thing. Mm-hmm. Whereas like if everyone was just like, oh yeah, I dyed my hair, I got a nose job.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like, why are we building it up to be this like huge thing?
Yeah.
If everyone was just honest about it and was honest about everything they had done, I just feel like it would be so much easier on people.
Yeah. Someone said that to me recently. A girl who I had just met at like an event was found out that I worked in dermatology. dermatology, and she was like, I'm thinking for like my whatever it was, like 30th birthday, she's like, I want to treat myself to Botox, whatever. Like, have you ever done that? And I was like, oh, honey, I started Botox when I was 23. But like we were like joking, and I was like telling her about like my experiences and how like it really does work, whatever. At the end of the conversation, she was like, I really appreciate how open you were with me about like the fact that you get Botox. She's like, I feel like a lot of people hide when they get things like that done. And she's like, and I just want someone to tell me their honest opinion. Yeah. And I was like, what do we have to hide?
Yeah.
Wrinkles is what we have to hide. Like, just get it done. It's not gonna hurt you. Well, some things I guess could hurt you.
Maybe like, that's why it's so over stigmatized, because if you go to a hairdresser and they botch your hair, like cut it off. If they botch a surgery, you could have health risks. Yeah. So I get that, and I get why like the risks are like some people are against it because of the risks. But I think when you're thinking like black and white about the reason that people do it, that's what I mean. Like why is the reason so stigmatized when it's you can botch your teeth, you can get oral surgery and that can be botched and you're done for the rest of your life. But I think that if most parents could afford braces for their kids, they will get braces for their kids. Yeah. It's like the same thing with like all of those like at-home Invisalign companies that people paid money for because they wanted better teeth, and there was like multiple class actions against those companies because it's risky to change the outline of your jaw is risky
without like a doctor's supervision.
Or even with a doctor's supervision, there are risks to changing the way that your teeth sit in your mouth. So I get the risk thing, but like think about it black and white. Like I got Invisalign and I paid so much money for it. Like it makes me sad how much it costs, because I'm like, I wish it could just be cheaper so that everyone could have it if they want it. But I got Invisalign because I wanted my teeth to look stereotypically pretty and good. Yeah. And I dye my hair. Well, I dye my hair more for myself, but like because I'm like, I think I look good with this. But I'm sure like deep down, if you unbuttoned the layers, it's like, it's because I want to present myself in a pretty way into society. Like I want myself to look better. So when you think about the reasoning is where I'm coming from with this like anti-plastic surgery thing. Yeah.
No, that's definitely what it is. It's just like the people like, oh, you don't want to change how you look just for other people. It's like, no, I want to change how I look for myself. And maybe in the grand scheme of things, it could be for other people because other people perceive me how I perceive me too, or like whatever. Yeah. I get that, but like I also want to wake up in the morning and look at my face and not have wrinkles on my forehead. And what's going to prevent that? Botox. So I'm going to get it.
And another thing is, it's really easy to be like, oh, don't do that because of other people. Don't change your appearance just because you want other people to think you're pretty or attractive, or societal standards of beauty, blah, blah, blah. It's really easy to say those things, but the truth is, in our world, those things matter. Like you are judged on those things. Absolutely. And the way that you feel about yourself shows through the way you act. Like if you are confident and you wake up every day and you love the way you look, odds are that's going to help you be more confident in other areas of life. So why not do it? And I'm not saying like you need to do it, but if
everyone goes out and gets plastic surgery, filler, Botox, dyes, and chops their hair after this,
I'm like, if you can afford it, go get surgery today. Schedule an appointment. No, but like if you could be confident and 100% like wonderful with yourself without changing anything, that's great. Like, but don't discourage someone else just because you don't think that people need it.
Yes, I agree.
I try to do that too. But I do see where people are coming from, because if one of my friends came to me and they were like, I really want to get a nose job, my first thought would be, oh, but you're gorgeous. So just know you don't need to do that to be beautiful, because you're so beautiful as is. But it's like, you can be beautiful before a nose job and be beautiful after. Yeah. I don't know.
Yep. Anyway, back to the story. Back to our regularly scheduled programming.
So this man's wife got multiple types of plastic surgery and filler. I hate to say it, but it decreased her attractiveness. Don't get me wrong, she's still beautiful, but not nearly as gorgeous as what she used to look like. It also just makes me sad that she removed all of the features that I loved on her face. It's also sad that people think these are features they need to remove. She looks hollowed out and tired. That's also a hard thing too, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So if you had a partner or anyone in your life that you thought was like the most beautiful person alive, but they had a different perception of themselves and then they change it, now they like themselves better, but you liked them better before. So that is tough. I could see how that would make someone sad.
It's hard, yeah, for sure. If you're like married to someone, like,
yeah.
If your friend says, "Oh, you don't need it," it's like, well, your friend's not like doesn't have to look at you every night for the rest of their lives.
Yeah,
like your significant other is different.
Another example is like if you really are attracted to like really lanky people, and then you start dating someone or you marry someone that's like your lanky king. And then they go to the gym and now they're like a gym guy, and maybe they change life paths and they want to do like bodybuilder competitions and completely change their body. And you're like, oh, dang, I kind of liked his lanky body better. Like that's a really hard thing because it's like on the surface, you can be like, well, don't judge them. It's their life. Like respect them for who they are. And it's like, of course I respect them for who they are, but beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
And it's the same thing if you got surgery done on your face.
Yeah.
It's the same
so
thing.
It is hard. I can see where they're coming from.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to admit she got plastic surgery. We're back home from Europe and people started commenting on her looks at dinner. One of her friends just straight up asked if she got something done and she said no. She said it was just aging. Of course, she was going to look different. She's 27, etc. I was shocked. I couldn't even believe she could play that card when the results are so dramatic.
Yeah, what?
See, that's the problem.
She's had so much work done and she's flat out saying, no, I didn't get anything done.
I feel like that comes from insecurity. If you were secure in yourself, you would be like, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, wow, you look great. And you'd be like, thanks.
Yeah.
I had a great doctor.
Yeah, I agree.
And without the doctor, I'd still look great. And with the doctor, I look great. Like, it doesn't, whatever.
Yeah.
It's so obvious that she was lying, but no one called her out on it. My sister has been staying at my parents' house because I'm here, and she has been weirdly obsessed with her looks since that dinner. She is only 24. She is truly a baby. 24 seems so young now, or at least she makes it seem very young. She admitted to me that seeing my girlfriend brought up feelings of anxiety toward aging. She said she didn't know people could change so much, and it was stressing her out. She started calling me and freaking out about how she found a line on her forehead, which was hardly noticeable at all. She isn't a person that was super fixated on her looks, normally at least, so it surprised me. But she was buying a lot of anti-aging skincare and applying it multiple times a day. I told her she was fine. All she had to do was moisturize and wear sunscreen. I mean, I look the same as I did when I was 24, but she wasn't buying it, and it was obvious why. See, this is the problem. This is why, like, filters, Photoshop, people lying is a problem. It hurt me so much to see her like that. She kept putting retinol on her face and would ask me daily if I see lines going away when there were no lines in the first place. Babe, you need Botox, not retinol.
I mean, retinol, you keep up the retinol. Please keep up the retinol.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah.
I'm not a doctor. Also, just to clarify, Erin works she's a dermatology nurse. So,
oh yeah, for those who have maybe missed it in other episodes.
Yes.
Let's clarify why I do have a lot of knowledge and experience with Botox, filler, retinol,
right,
skincare routines. I do have a lot of knowledge in that aspect. Do continue with your retinol. It will help with fine lines, but continue the story.
After a while of her spiraling one day, I finally broke down and said, dude, you're freaking out about aging because of my girlfriend. Chill out. She got plastic surgery. You don't just randomly start to have totally different features after you hit 25. You're going to look exactly how you look now at 27. Relax. She is way too young to be hyper fixating on her looks and worrying about aging. She has an obsessive personality sometimes and gets fixated on things, probably the anxiety disorder. So just telling her that made her drop the subject. Thank God. I do think that's not necessarily true though, because one thing I noticed was I actually remember thinking this when I was like 20. It was in college, so I was like probably 22 or 23. We were over our cousin's house eating Easter breakfast, and I was looking at my cousin's face. She's a few years older than me, and I noticed how defined her cheekbones are, and I was like, queen, yes, snatched, jawline, cheek line, damn, you're killing it. I had these like puffy, chubby cheeks. And then later in life, literally when I was like 25 or 26, you know how when your body changes, you don't really notice until it's like super dramatic because you're looking at yourself every day, like whatever. I remember I looked in the mirror one day and I was like, oh my God, my cheekbones are defined, like in the same way that my cousins were. And now my cheekbones, they're not like, it doesn't look like I have surgery, but my cheekbones did not look like this when I was 23. So sometimes I feel bad for influencers or even celebrities if they are getting accused of plastic surgery and they're like, no, I was just a child and now I'm an adult, because your face does change. But anyway, side note. Okay. So this OP, I told her weeks ago, but last week my girlfriend asked if I told anyone about her plastic surgery. I admitted I did tell my sister because I didn't want to lie about it, and she is very mad at me. Was I wrong to tell her? My girlfriend didn't outright say not to tell people, but it was obvious she wanted me to lie for her and expected me to do that. This is like one of those like, would you keep my secret type things.
I think it depends who you're talking to.
Yeah, your little sister.
That's so hard. Yeah, I don't think I would lie to my little sister.
I wouldn't
especially
either.
if it was affecting her in that way.
Yeah. And it's also something that isn't like hurting someone's safety.
Mm-hmm.
And she outwardly didn't say like, babe, if I go get this plastic surgery, can you swear that you're not going to tell anyone? Because if that was the case, I'm sure the boyfriend would be like, if people ask me, I need to tell them the truth. Or like, if it's like hurting someone's mental health and it's like making them spiral and have anxiety and panic attacks, like I'm going to tell them the truth.
Right.
She just expected him to lie like after the deed was done. Like he never agreed to not tell anyone.
That's tough. Yeah, no, I think it's, if it comes down to like it's affecting someone else's self-esteem because like you got all this stuff done and they're like, oh no, now I see these things, they should definitely know.
Yeah.
Like if someone, I'm not trying to like use myself as a comparison, but if someone were to look at me and say like, how do you have no wrinkles on your forehead? Like I want to get rid of this wrinkle on my forehead, like Botox. Like I should not lie to you and be like, oh honey, naturally I would have never have a fine line on my forehead. Like it's a lie. Like why would you want to hurt someone else's feelings to be like, oh, you naturally have that line? Oh, I don't naturally have that line.
It's literally insecurity.
Yeah.
Because people want to feel like they're better than you. They want to be like, oh my God, yeah, all of this is natural. It doesn't make you a better person to look a certain way.
Facts. Yeah, no, I think that, I would tell.
Yeah, I would tell people too. I would be like, I don't care. It's not risking your safety. It's just risking your ego.
Right.
But it is in a way risking someone else's safety via their peace of mind, via their like anxiety and mental health. Self-esteem. So I don't think I would lie for someone. I would encourage them to be freaking for real and be real with themselves and gain a little bit of self-esteem and really encourage them to tell the truth to people.
Tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I really think if you were completely secure in yourself, you would have no reason to lie about that.
Yeah. Why lie, guys?
Yeah.
Lies just hurt people.
The overall vote was not the asshole, so people agreed with us.
Okay, so he's not the asshole for telling. Okay, good.
The top comment was, when people deny having work done, especially if it's noticeable, people don't tend to believe them anyway. I don't think your girlfriend is fooling anyone. Your sister's well-being and state of mind are more important.
Not
That's so
that
true.
much work. It's not like she had one thing done and everyone's like, what did you have done? It's like you literally came home with a new European face and everyone's like, did you get anything done?
Yeah. She's like, oh my God, no. Your entire face is different. You went to Europe for 3 weeks.
And you literally came home with a new face.
Yeah.
No way, Jose. I'm not buying what you're selling. Well, I might actually buy it, but.
Would I be the asshole if I photoshopped the color of my sister-in-law's dress in my wedding photos? My husband and I recently got married and it was hands down one of the best days ever. Everything went off without a hitch except one thing. My sister-in-law wore a long white dress to the wedding. It did have a slight pattern to it, but it was very obviously white and it looks off in pictures. She was told many times by her family not to wear white, but did it anyway. I never said anything about it as to not start drama, and I just feel as though it was a waste of energy to let that get to me. My main issue is how the photos turned out. The pictures look off and it's distracting seeing 2 long white dresses, especially with the way we were positioned. I want to Photoshop it to blush or champagne color so we can display the pictures, and that way it wouldn't be a dramatic change. Would I be the asshole since I never personally said anything, or should I just do it?
Just do it.
I think
it's your wedding.
I think do it. I think you could Photoshop literally anything in your wedding photos and you're allowed to do that.
It's your wedding.
I think that
she should not have worn white to your wedding.
Yeah.
Period.
I feel like that screams insecurity too. Like,
this is the insecurity episode.
I know, with everyone's sister-in-laws or sisters.
Sitting next to my insecure sister. I'm just kidding.
What?
She dyes her hair. She's insecure.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I think Photoshop whatever you want,
Literally
especially
whatever you
if the photos are just in your own home. And if your little insecure SIL comes over and she's like, why did you do that? You're going to just literally be like, oh, you were wearing a white dress. Don't feed into her little negative drama.
Yeah.
She's going to be like, why would you ever Photoshop my dress in your picture that's hanging in your house that only you are going to see because you're wearing a white dress? And she's going to be like, but my dress is pretty. You don't wear a white dress to a wedding. I didn't want a white dress in my photos.
She could pull the card that other girl in another story that we read on my last episode pulled, where like every time the parent-in-laws were like, when are you gonna have a kid? When are you gonna have a kid? If she came, I was like, why did you Photoshop my dress? I'd be like, why did you Photoshop my dress?
You just
or if
gaslight
she
her.
said that, be like, why did you wear white to my wedding?
Yeah. And then she's going to be like, the dress was pretty. It was off-white. It had a pattern. You're going to be like,
so was my wedding dress.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. And this would be a situation where I just like stared at someone and let them melt in their own pool of like insecurity.
Yeah.
And the more she's like, but why would you do that? It's my dress. It's I wore it. I picked it up. Blah, blah, blah. Literally just stare at her in silence.
Yeah.
And then she's like, aren't you going to say anything? You're like, yeah, I said it. You wore white to my wedding, so I Photoshopped your dress a different color. She's going to be like, but that's not fair. And just literally stare at her in silence.
Yeah.
This will resolve itself.
Yeah.
All she wants is attention, in my opinion. If she has a problem with it. She might come over your house and be like, did you Photoshop my dress? And you're going to be like, yeah, I didn't want it to look white in my photos. And she could be like, oh, huh.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yep.
I think regardless, Photoshop the picture.
Yeah, Photoshop it.
My sister-in-law got a new engagement and wedding band, and it's the same exact one as mine.
Oh, no.
My sister-
I was gatekeeping that wedding band and engagement ring.
I'm like, low-key, like, what is this going to be?
Yeah.
My sister-in-law copied my engagement ring, and I'm trying to not get pissed off. My sister-in-law has always hated me. From the moment I got with my now husband, her husband's twin, she has always hated me. The first thing my sister-in-law ever said to me was that I'm the longest-lasting girlfriend. And since that day, there has been this weird, unspoken competition where she is always trying to belittle me, make me feel small and insecure. At first, it used to work, but now it just pisses me off. She's insecure. She's bragged about seeing my husband, boyfriend at the time, naked before.
Wow,
Please.
congrats.
She's made comments about my sister's marriage unnecessarily. She's just jealous or something and always has something to say to demean me. She goes and changes into outfits that match mine and literally copies me in everything. Well, me and my husband got married recently and he bought me a new ring because of our new journey in life because we had grown so much. Oh,
Cute.
and then today, I went to my mother-in-law's house to celebrate someone's birthday, and she's here with my husband's twin. I look at her, and she copied my exact ring. Exactly. My husband bought me a new 5-carat pear rose gold double halo ring. Dang, make his pockets hurt. And she has the exact same thing. I'm so freaking angry. Side note, she also copied our other sister-in-law's engagement ring. My husband has... How does she have so many engagement rings?
Yeah, what? What?
My husband has 7 brothers, and the eldest got married first, and then she did, and she had the exact same ring as that girl too. So I noticed this behavior isn't random or a coincidence. I'm trying
Why
to...
does she get so many?
Wait, but okay, yeah. My first thought, though, is there's a difference between, like, copying someone and being inspired by someone.
Yeah.
And also, like, maybe she just wanted that ring. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like engagement rings are not something, or, like, shapes of diamonds or, like, designs of jewelry are not something that just every single person knows every iteration of. It could have been possible that she just saw that ring and was like, wait, that's actually my dream ring. I was wrong.
Every time someone else in her family got engaged.
But that was the one time, and now it's happened again 2 times. I don't know. It's like, what is every time? I don't know. The last thing is I'm just trying to contain myself because it's not a big deal and it's just materialistic things, but I'm fuming and I'm so annoyed. I literally don't want to talk to her at all at this trip. Should I confront her or just leave her alone? Edit, I was with my husband and his twin and I asked him, oh, I saw twin got a new ring. He explained that he got her a ring because they had been together for 5 years and allegedly a new ring is what you would give someone on the 5-year mark. He kind of wasn't making sense and kept stuttering, but he did admit he didn't even buy, but then backtracked and said he bought the ring and the wedding band separately.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
Wait,
I feel
I'm
like
looking up the classic 5-year anniversary gift.
I thought it was like spoons, like silverware. I don't
I thought
know.
it was like copper or something.
Yeah, like I thought it was like like spoons, like copper spoons.
Okay, the 5th year is wood.
No.
Yeah. Yep.
Can we just leave all
Year
these traditions?
1 is paper, 2 is cotton, 3 is leather, 4 is fruit or flowers, 5 is wood, 6 is candy or iron, 7 is wool or copper, 8 is pottery or bronze. Show me where it says year 5, the same ring as your sister-in-law's engagement ring. Do you see that on here?
I think that those rules need to be buried in the backyard because they're all so dumb, in my opinion. But that's just me.
It's just like, this is just a lie, though.
Yeah, so dumb, so stupid. The girl's insecure. She wants everything you have. She is intimidated by you. She's jealous of you. Maybe she's insecure about the way she looks, you look, her job, your job. Who knows? She's trying to pull you down. She's trying to have everything you have, but she never will. I would let that sister... I would bury the sister in the backyard.
Oh my
I'm
God.
just kidding.
No,
Along
like
with the
with the
dumbass
ring.
rules.
With
Sorry,
the ring.
that was a joke. I would never do that.
Unless that's what they put in their final request when they died.
Right. Exactly.
If that's what they want, that's what they can have. Anyway, yeah, I would say maybe don't feed into it because she knows what she's doing. If you ask her, you're just looking like the crazy jealous one when clearly she is literally so jealous. And I say just let that jealousy eat her away from the inside out and continue on with your life.
Yeah, I honestly feel like either don't comment on it at all, or if you do want to comment on it, comment and be like, oh my God, so beautiful. And literally leave it at that. Like, don't compare them at all.
Oh my God. Or you could be like, so beautiful. Oh my God, we're literally twinsies. Oh my God, that's so funny. I bet you wanted to be just like me.
See, that's petty. I wouldn't even say that.
I'm petty.
I wouldn't even say that. I would literally just be like, oh my God, so pretty. And don't ask her questions about it. Or if she comes up to you and she's like, oh my God, yeah, I saw yours. Like, or, oh my God, it looks really similar to yours. Then you could be like,
that's crazy that you got yours 5 years after I got mine.
or you should be like, wait, really? I don't think it looks similar. And she's
Mine's clearly much more expensive.
It's the exact same ring, like not different whatsoever. Just be like, wait, you think it's similar? Wait, that's so funny. I didn't even notice. I would not even pin them in the same category. And then she's like, it's literally a 5-cut pear shaped diamond with a hidden halo and yada. And you're like, really? Oh my God, I didn't even notice the halo.
Is that what mine is?
Yeah.
I forgot I've just had it for so long.
Yeah, I just don't even feed into it.
Yeah, fine, don't feed into it. I'm petty. And I like revenge. You don't have to.
Thank you guys so much for listening to our podcast and hearing us rant about sisters and sister-in-laws and plastic surgery.
And self-esteem issues.
Yes, literally.
We're here for that.
Yeah. I hope that everyone is having a wonderful Thanksgiving with their family.
A nice, happy holiday. Whatever you like to do, I hope that's how you're spending it. Even if that's not with your family. Because I get it.
That's so true.
Do what makes you happy.
One time someone wrote me a card and said, Kelee, I hope that your holiday is filled with all the things you love. And I'm like, wow, that is such a good way to put that because it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
I just hope it fills your day.
It doesn't have to be your family. It doesn't have to be turkey and mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
I hope that if you want to sleep in, watch TV, order a pizza, do it.
Get plastic surgery, chug Magic Mind, get back to work.
Yeah, do it. Do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
And share a podcast with your friends.
Yes, please share a podcast with your friends. That would mean the world to me.
We would be so thankful.
Literally. Please.
Literally.
We're so thankful for you, our listeners, and our sponsor, Magic Mind. And we love you. We appreciate you. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.